Hey everybody, welcome to the pre-show. Skip to 5 minutes to get to the main topic. What's up, Brandon?
Nothing much. You?
Just hanging out. Like I said, I've got an interview tomorrow. I didn't say it was tomorrow, but the
Uh,
position.
was it the one that you told me about last time? The one of that previous company? Or is this a
Uh,
different? The one of
no,
like the
no, no,
fishing
no.
one and all that.
Yeah, not that one. This one is with a new company, and this is I've been through two interviews now, and so now I'm going to my third interview, which I also believe is the final interview,
As it should
and
be.
with the manager's manager.
Wait. So what happened with that one of like the fishing one and all that?
They haven't responded again a little bit. Last time they kind of did that, it was like real quick, excited, another interview
Yeah.
real quick, real back and forth, quick communication. And then it went like dark for a little over a week and a half. And then they responded and said like what they said that I explained before. And this one, now again, it's been a couple months later, then interviewing for it again. Didn't go through two interviews, just went through one because I've already did the first one.
Mhm.
And definitely interview went really well. He said you'd be a great asset. I answered the questions really well, and he said next step will be get you an interview with the two guys who are co-owners of the company for the final spot
Mhm.
interview. I'm sorry, I'm kind of burping a little bit. And I haven't heard back, and so I
Uh,
sent a follow up email after a week, expressed my desire and blah 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 and eagerness, and I didn't respond to that one and haven't heard from him. It's been maybe about 2 weeks now.
so
So,
probably dead.
at this point, probably not. And I want to get this position that I'm interviewing for instead now. A lot more desirable for me and my
That's
skill
good.
set and the next step in my career progression.
Is it in the financial district like you were wanting to be in, or no?
No, that was one of the ones I was looking for. This one's actually within the real estate sphere.
Okay,
And
so going back to your roots a little bit.
yeah, but I won't be utilizing my real estate license. I'll be assisting agents
Okay.
and leading a team of people that assist agents in all the other offices. I keep that stuff broad. I don't get too far into talking about the work I'm in until I'm
Uh,
past it,
oh no, obviously.
uh,
No,
for
but
good reasons.
as a thought interview, as it should be. I knew somebody recently that was applying for like it was assistant manager, like to be the manager of a movie theater, not the one in town, but like a
Uh-huh.
couple of towns over. And I think he ended up doing 4 or 5 interviews with them.
That's too much, man. An
I'm,
assistant manager for a movie theater?
it was like
No.
it was like right below the it was either gonna be the GM or right below the GM.
Yeah,
And
that's
it's
too
like
many.
and it was like like this one has like a it's like not just movie theater, like they have like a bar, arcade, and all that. Like I think
Mhm.
he did like 5 of them, and I think he said he did 5. It was more than 3, and I'm like, what the hell? He was like, that's what I'm saying.
That's just a waste of time.
He ended up getting another job, but he ended up accepting another position at another place that's basically, from what he told me, basically triple what he's making at the moment. And I'm like, oh
That's what
dang,
I'm saying. For 5 interviews, he probably wasn't even making close to his new
I
job that interviewed twice.
I I think it was gonna be the movie theater one's like 2.5, I think. Or at least it was double what he's making at his job when he put in his 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It was
So,
either
yeah.
it was double what he was making or 2.5.
Yeah.
Plus
No,
free
yeah.
popcorn and free movies.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah,
But
I mean, then that stuff, that's not really worth the big pay cut. Um,
because he was interviewing for a coffee shop and then the movie theater at the same time while he was like still working his other job. The
yes.
coffee shop, I think he was going to be a GM, and it's basically triple the salary. The
And he got
movie
that?
theater, yeah, he did.
In the movie theaters,
I
just
think it was
dragging feet,
I think
wasting
it was
time.
2 times his salary or 2.5 times his salary. They were pretty close. I think he negotiated with both of them a little bit to get a little bit up.
Yeah,
But he got it, and I was like, "Hey, congratulations, man!" And I
that's
think the
really
last
cool.
time I'm gonna see him, because he doesn't work in the same company I did, but he's like he's another vendor. So I
Yeah.
see him frequently, and we get along. I was like, "Oh, hey, good to see you." He's like, "Good to see you last day's Friday." He's like, "Yep." I was like, "Remember to give me free coffee, man, if I ever
Yeah.
stop by there
Yeah.
in the morning," because I think he said he's only gonna be there in the mornings, really, unless it's like a holiday. And I'm like, "Free coffee or free movies?" He's like, "Hey, hit
Yeah.
me up." I was
Yeah.
like, "I'll take
There you
both."
go. That's cool. That's cool. Well, yeah, got my interview tomorrow. We're almost out of time here, but so
Yeah.
that'll be tomorrow in the morning. So that's gonna be great.
Well, Godspeed to you on that.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, this is the most natural ending that we've had yet. Got a few more seconds, so we're gonna go ahead and transition.
Yep.
Me?
Oh, I thought you were gonna do it.
I don't know. It doesn't matter. I've done the very first one. I feel like we could trade off sometimes, which we do. But I feel like if I do two of them in a row, I feel like we could trade off on who does the first one and the second one, kind of.
Gotcha.
But at this point, we've went on a really long time. But either way, welcome to the For Long Haul podcast. This is Blaine sitting alongside.
Brandon.
Thanks for those of you that with the pre-show, and if not, that's okay. You just the first 5 minutes is always the pre-show. Let's get right into it. So what do we got on the
Okay,
menu today?
so this trend started honestly by 2022, and all that. I just recently was listening to a podcast, and they were like giving their thoughts and opinions on this, and like doing like I don't going through the list. It's
Yeah.
basically green flag, red flag, or beige flag
Okay.
for like dating and all that. So basically, green flag is like, hey, this is a good sign. Red flag, oh, not a good sign. Beige flag, it's like neutral. It's like, okay, this is a little odd, but it's not a deal breaker. It's just like a little odd,
Why
maybe.
isn't that a yellow flag? Why is it a beige flag?
Okay, I'm like,
Okay. Yellow
maybe
is like this is bad, but not real bad. So maybe
yeah,
I could see that as being a good
because
idea.
and typically red is it's like danger, danger. Green is like, oh, hey, good. So I thought, hey, we actually never did that when that trend was happening. Or whenever I noticed the trend and all that.
Uh
But
huh.
also, I didn't. Whenever I first got introduced to the trend, it was like a mixed bag for me because like you just saw a lot of women being like, "Oh, if he does this, it's red, red." It's like, "Oh, if he doesn't make 100K, red." If he
Yeah.
like hangs out with his friends, it's red. I'm like, and then like I saw like it's either that or like actually reasonable ones. So I was like, "Oh, hey, why not we do this one?"
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Surprisingly, this is harder to find a list for than I thought. I thought it was gonna be like a quick 3-second Google search. No, it took me like a good 5 minutes to find a decent list.
Uh huh. That's
But I
cool.
got one from Quiz with Quizizz, and that looks like it's created by Ty Sam.
Okay.
So why not we get into it?
All right.
Okay, so let's see. Wait, do you understand that? Like green is good, red's bad, beige is like okay, maybe a little odd, but like not a deal breaker.
So, and that's what we're gonna say. Like, I'm gonna say what the my
Yeah, yeah.
color
And if you
flag is
want, you
for
can
it.
explain why, or if like one of us questions it, or what, why.
Yeah. Beige.
Let's see.
Give myself a little note here.
Oh yeah, what the? Oh, does this really only have like 3 lists? I thought this was gonna show more than just 3 questions on this list.
Oh. We have hit a major red flag.
Yep, hold on. Let me just see if I can do something real fast and find a list because I thought a list would be easier, but I got a couple in mind that okay, here's a decent one. Let's see.
I
Okay.
got one. If you haven't found one yet, I knew right we would find this.
Okay, you
Uh,
go, you go.
well, here, so I haven't vetted this yet, but I went right to it, and it's basically I was like, you know, where it's gonna find a list of icks, because that's been like a bit of a trend. Let me adjust this. It's coming down.
That's true, that's true.
Icks. And so the ultimate list of icks. Wow, there is 53 here. Okay. The last one's really funny. I might start with that one, then we'll go back to the top.
Okay,
Uh,
go on.
the first ick on here, or the last ick on this whole list is does the Wolf of Wall Street chess thing. It was like, I haven't seen anyone do that, but I just thought that was funny to talk about.
I would say beige, mostly because I can see people more doing it as a meme or just to
Yeah,
be stupid or silly.
yeah. I don't know. I don't think it's a red flag. It's
Yeah.
just somebody's maybe characteristic, and they're
Now,
mimicking something like that.
now
Really.
if they act like what's his name in Wolf of Wall Street, that's a major red flag.
Here's a good one. This is the first one on the list. It says business major, but here's the caveat. Not just
Okay.
business major. Being an entrepreneur just means you're unemployed. Until you really get going, I it's kind of like that, you know. And if you're an entrepreneur, most people the problem is that, and the Gary Vaynerchuk talks about this a lot. Don't say you're an entrepreneur and you're not doing anything. People just use that word because
It
it
sounds
sounds like
fancy.
you're doing a bunch of stuff and you're fancy and you're in that bracket, which was happening many years ago. Hustle hard. I'm an entrepreneur, and that is associated with doing really well and making money. And then they act like they're doing well and they're not. So, I mean, so not being a business major, but saying you're an entrepreneur, I think that could be. I think it's definitely a beige flag until you learn more about it,
It can be beige until you learn more about it. Then it can easily be green or red.
and then it could develop to red. I think on average, it's probably more towards the red side based on the group of people and the
Yeah.
demographic where you're at.
Hold on.
Uh,
This is one that's commonly. Oh wait, were you gonna say something else? My bad.
okay. No, no, no. Go ahead.
Okay, here's another really common one. Um, has the palate of a 12-year-old. Now, let me explain. Like,
Ooh.
basically, when people say this, it's basically like, they're really super picky eaters. Like, they're like, will always just they won't try anything new, really. They won't, like, try,
Yeah.
like, whenever you get to a restaurant, they always get, like, the bland old ch- uh, chicken strips and french fries. They won't, like, say try ramen or try street tacos, try,
Yeah.
uh, uh, I don't know, something Italian or
Yeah.
French or whatever, like
Yeah.
they won't try new things at least once.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I am more adventurous in that category. I really do like to try things at least once that's
Especially
new and
since high
different.
school, I think you got to really more trying a bunch of more stuff.
Yeah, but some people like refuse to at least try it. Like, I'm not saying you have to eat it, chew it, or swallow it, whatever. Just give it a shot.
Yeah.
And I think the people who completely refuse to try stuff, like for me, that would be a red flag because for me, that means we wouldn't jive together very well.
I
That
s-
didn't have the open mind, and that links to open mindedness for me. And so if they're not willing to at least try it for the first time, I'm like, this person's not super open minded, and they're probably not going to be willing to try many of things.
Yeah, I'm gonna say red flag, but with like an asterisk. If
Mhm.
only if like the thing that like you want them to try goes against their diet, like say they're vegan, vegetarian, they have a keto
Yeah,
diet or pescatarian diet. But they
I
just
feel like
like
that should be given.
I feel like that's an asterisk, but like if there's somebody like you and me that doesn't really have a diet, like just tries
Yeah,
to eat healthy and doesn't really
yeah,
have like a certain diet, then yeah, that's a red flag. But, if you really
uh
don't
huh,
eat like meat and all that, but you like eat a bunch of other stuff, then no, then that's the asterisk.
yeah. And so, let's see, get another one good here. This one, I'm skipping a lot of these because they're kind of too topical in my opinion.
Yeah.
Um, here's a good one here. Yeah, another ick. Talks about family's wealth.
But what do you
So,
mean exactly by family's wealth?
I feel oh my parents are rich and stuff like that. Like I feel like this doesn't need an explanation, but I suppose a tasteful and critical discussion of wealth has its time and place. Like why you need to bring up like oh my parents are rich. Like some people like talk about that. You know what I
Oh,
mean? You've met
they
people
can
like
act like
that.
snobs, kind of. It's like, oh, well, my father drives a Mercedes Benz.
Yeah, Benz. Um,
If
but
they're
yeah,
big,
no, exactly. I mean, and this is by the way, I never said like where this list came from, the Sophian, Smith's independent student run newspaper, the Sophian.com, the ultimate list of icks.
I say if they really bring it up out of nowhere, just like out of randomness, or
Yeah.
just to mention it, that's definitely a red flag.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, it's like, okay, cool. Um, I guess you're cool for that. I don't know. You're your own person. I mean, you don't need to why you bringing in that your family's rich or whatever. If my family was like really rich, I wouldn't bring it up at all. I probably would never talk about it. I mean, I
Yeah,
barely even talk about the kind of money that I make with people that I know really well
yeah,
because it's just like, how much did you make? Like, I make enough. It's not a big deal.
yeah,
Um, and then it's just whatever. Like, how much did you make from selling your stocks on a swing trade? Like, I did good. I did good enough. Uh,
I'm not in Fiji celebrating. That's for sure.
yeah. Well, I could have blown it and went somewhere, but no. I could have definitely got the flight and some hotel stuff covered, but no, 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 I'm not doing that. Let's see. Uh,
Uh, here's another one that I thought of. Won't at least try to get interested in some of your hobbies.
won't at least try to be interested.
Yeah,
That's a
in
good
some
one.
of your hobbies.
Yeah, that's a good one because this is someone like, especially in a relationship,
Yeah.
you spend a lot of time with, and you really enjoy talking about your hobbies. So
Or
if you
doing
act
said
like
hobbies.
or doing it, yeah, and they have absolutely no interest in it, or like at least an open mindedness to
Yeah.
maybe gain interest in it. That really, that's significantly less fun. To me, that's a red flag if they just have no interest to even care about any of your hobbies at
Yeah.
all. or even maybe partake in them, even if it's not up your alley. Again, this is back to the open mindedness section. And that's like really important to me. And I like to be that way. I'm open minded about doing new things and having new
Yeah.
experiences and trying new things. I'm adventurous in
Because at
that kind of
least
sense.
I say to it because you know you at least got to try. You how do you know you won't like it too, or you
Yeah.
guys won't bond over it if you don't at least try it and all that.
So to me, I feel like that's a red flag.
Yeah, because like I think a buddy of ours, I don't know if he's a Swifty fan, but he went with his wife to a Swifty concert at AT&T Stadium.
Hmm.
You know, I mean that's
Yeah.
like a good thing to do. It's like, oh, you may not like it, but you're gonna go with your wife anyway.
Yeah. Um, so here's another one I've got here. Where is it? Uh there was just I went through a couple. This one is I'm kind of saying this because it relates to me. Ick apparently is being an only child. And I do hear that
I
sometimes.
saw that from one place.
This is specific to me and based on prior negative experience with this person, but I've totally ran into that where Victoria will tell people he's an only child, and it's just like you're segmented. It's like having a Samsung versus an iPhone. They're kind of like, oh,
Is see,
uh,
I don't understand. I don't know why that's a thing. I'm like, that's not even. I don't even think that's a beige. That's like a nothing because that's not even your choice. That was your
yeah,
parents' choice.
yeah, exactly. But there is people who are only children, only childs that they're significantly more entitled and things of that
No,
nature.
no. Oh yeah, I see. That's more like how you were raised and all that. If anything else.
I don't know. To me, this isn't. This is a beige. It's not even a bad flag. To me, it's
Yeah,
so
yeah.
neutral. It's barely even a beige flag for
Wait,
me
are we
because
the
it's just
only? Are we the only child in our friend group?
I didn't even I forgot you were an only child, to be honest. Um, you
I
always
mean,
had like little aunts or whatever
because I have
around, or
my little cousin was always around and all that. If anything, she's the
basically.
closest thing I have to a sibling and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But
So I felt like I forgot, but yeah, I guess so. Everyone else has like
at least a
brothers and
sister or
stuff.
brother.
Yeah, that's right. I've heard. I mean, that's very common too. So,
I mean, especially for me, because like everybody assumes I have a bunch of
uh,
siblings. 'Cause I'm like, nah, I'm an only child. As my dad said, why?
uh-huh.
It's a joke,
Oh,
but I'm like, thank you. Yeah, I know I'm perfect.
mhm. This is a funny ick here. So a lady wrote this, and I'm getting that now,
Yeah,
or female from this point that I've just now seen here. I didn't want to make assumptions, but with the details of some of these icks, I figured a lady wrote this
yeah.
because men are not is won't notice these details as easily. We're more easily to gloss over stuff and not be,
Oh, you won't even point
paying
out the
attention
details
enough.
and all that.
Exactly, that's just how, a man functions. So this one on here is an ick, and this is, like, number 13 on this list, which I'm not doing but "Can't unhook my bra. We deserve better." Um, that's funny, and it can lead to awkward scenarios, especially earlier on in things. I don't think this is a really big red flag, but it's obvious that someone has not as much experience and, maybe they need some help. I don't know, I think it's
Uh,
beige, I think it's funny,
I
but
think it's beige, but I'm like,
I
I
think it's
kind of want to
funny.
know what experience that person had to make that a red flag for them. If they said that's a red flag,
This person may be more, let's just say, sexually active,
yeah,
and they're not expecting someone to be a complete brand new individual, and so if they can't unhook their bra, they're like, "Oh, come on!" Like that's like kind of hinders the moment a little bit because like things are going, and then you can't figure this shit out. Like, hold up, let me figure this out. But like a good person that has like good communication and stuff and is willing to work in that zone, like does not let that become like a big issue. So
yeah.
I feel like it's more of a flag for the other person too, and the lady in the scenario that is such a big deal that it messes up an experience. That's kind of how I feel about that.
Yeah, that's I think I saw that somewhere before, like when that was where they had her on the flag list. Because like I find a lot of these on TikTok and Instagram and all that.
Ooh, this is a good one. So apparently this one says after 15 and on so far that I'm seeing, it says now this is where I begin to get mean. That was the only child one was in here too. So the next one I think it would be funny to hit here is oh, that's a good one too. I think this one's a good one. I'm gonna do this one instead. Excessive punctuations in text. I just know when like this is and see texting is our communication for our generation and age brackets that are around us. And like we really, there's a lot of communication that goes on through our text that we've developed over
Hmm.
time from having really plain text communication to where we do things like a period after a sentence if this last sentence means you're most likely being more stern or you're really old or you're mad about something versus back then that was just there's a period in the sentence it meant nothing. And so like it's actually excessive punctuation in text like your math like exclamation point after every sentence, three exclamation points, eight exclamation points. My life is just so busy, exclamation points. What have you been up to, three question marks. I've been doing so much dot 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 dot. Like
Hmm.
that part, I definitely see that as an ick from a female perspective because it's just like I see that and I'm like, this person is just like freaking so cracked out on caffeine right now. They're like, "Bzzz."
Okay, okay. If you always do it, yeah, I can see it. Because
Yeah, no, no, consistent.
whenever you said that, I was originally thinking more like being more grammarly correct, like using punctuations when you're supposed to,
No,
explanations when you're supposed
past
to.
that,
Yeah,
past
yeah,
that, over
yeah,
that
yeah.
cliff.
I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that would be a red flag.
yeah. And well, actually, you probably should go. I don't know how many I've done at this point.
Yeah, I couldn't ever find a really good one, but let's see if this one's decent. Uh, let's see. Oh God, let's see. Okay, okay. How? Okay, actually, hold on. I actually remember seeing this in the. Oops, wrong tab. I remember seeing this in a video. Uh, watches anime.
Ah, that's absolutely an ick, especially for the female.
Yeah,
And I'm saying female right now, which is really funny because there's another thing I want to mention here in a second from the ladies. But yeah, that's absolutely like I don't really watch a lot of anime because I
huh,
don't watch a whole lot of TV and stuff.
yeah,
But I've watched some stuff here and there, especially with Victoria. But the overall premise was just like
Eh,
you've watched some anime shows, they're just like, dude, what the hell?
yeah.
You are weird.
The general premise is that's a red flag, and I'm like, why is that a red flag? That's what your form of media you watch
Yeah.
which is what you enjoy. That doesn't necessarily mean it's a red flag. I say it's a beige flag if they watch anime. Now, depending
Well,
on what kind they watch, I can think that may be red.
yeah.
Because
Well,
like
that's
you can
a
say the
good
same
point.
thing about reality TV, which typically the stereotype is a lot of women watch reality TV. You can say that's a red flag.
I would say if they always watch preferred TV as reality TV, to me that's a red flag. Because I hate having that on. I'm willing to watch some of it. It's kind of interesting, but all the time, and some of them are really over exaggerated. I hate it. I
Well,
do
see,
not like it.
the ones that I hate is like anything that's kind of like keeping up with Kardashians. If it's like
I don't
cooking
like those.
reality shows like
I
Kitchen
like those.
Nightmares, Hell's Kitchen,
I'm thinking like women catfighty, like type of
yeah,
reality
that kind
shows.
I do not like. But if it's like
Yeah,
I don't know, say Kitchen Nightmares, Hell's Kitchen, I guess you can say the Hot Ones is one. I don't know if the Hot Ones would be considered
yeah.
reality TV.
I don't know.
Oh, American Ninja Warrior.
That could maybe be reality TV,
Yeah,
maybe, but to me, it's
that's more
not
like
as
an
much.
obstacle kind of a show
Yeah,
and
it's
all
more
that.
sporty and stuff like that. So I've got 2 more. I just seen this other one. So
Yeah.
I just said females earlier. This is an ick on here, calling women females. It says, "Can we grow up?" I feel like this is a good point. I don't know when I do it or why I do it. I don't do it all the time, but, one thing I guess I'll do it when I'm subscribing sometimes. Like, I was playing Call of Duty with Landon and a couple other friends the other day, and I was, "Oh, there's a female in here." And Victoria's like, "Why do you say female? Why can't you just say girl or something?" I was like, uh, I don't know. I just that's what I said. But it's a good point. I don't for me,
I say it's beige because
yeah.
I think it'll depend on the context. If you're speaking, I, I just think it's more because I think it'll be like
You
in
can
the
add positive or
context.
negative connotations to it as well. I mean, to me, I feel like that's a beige flag. I
Yeah,
don't know. I typically don't really use the females as a term. Like, I look at the females over there. I definitely would never say that.
like if
Oh,
you
there's
say it
all those
like
girls over
that,
there.
if you say it like that, it does sound weird. But at the same time, sometimes it sounds weird saying girl and all that.
Yeah. There's
That
ladies,
uh,
women.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I don't think that's a red flag.
Here's another one that I've seen a lot of people talk about is a Disney kid.
Oh,
So basically what people mean when they say Disney kid is like somebody that always goes to like watches nothing but Disney shows, like has all
yeah.
Disney merch, has
Uh-huh.
talks all about Disney, like goes to Disneyland all the time or Disney World, whichever
Ooh,
one it is, or
yeah.
both.
I think this puts it in the same realm as like the only anime person.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
think the reason it's an ick is because some people, some ladies do not want or if a quirky individual is not their type, and you're
yeah.
more likely to find someone who is quirky
But
that
see,
is like
like
they only
typically,
watch anime or something
what
like that.
typically whenever like people talk about Disney kids, it's like typically more ladies are Disney kids and all that.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, I don't know anyone that only watches, like, Disney stuff, but, like, as a kid, you kinda watch it, but now you
Yeah,
get older, not as much. But
yeah,
there is some, like, Disney stuff coming out that's like, "Oh, this might be cool," but I'm not watching any of that stuff. I will say here's one I'm about to say, and I already know what I'm gonna say about it afterwards, is Snapchat in the Instagram bio. As a man and the woman has her Snapchat in the Instagram bio, I think this is a red flag because, hey, just like this says, it's giving middle school or it's saying I send random nudes to strangers, which would be more from a guy perspective, a woman looking at a guy vibes, which is worse. It says on here. But to me, if a lady has that in her bio, I think they're willing to play around. You know what I mean?
yeah.
If you're looking for more something serious, I think this is more of a red flag. But you're just trying to play around, then that's like this is free game. But
I say red flag, but again with an asterisk. Unless the domain page is like the content creation page and they're like a content creator. And they're like, oh hey, here's my other
okay,
socials and all
I
that.
could take that.
Then if they're a content creator and they're like, they only have like, the content creation page as like the only page, then
Mhm.
that's not a red flag because they're like, hey, check out my other socials if you want to keep up with what I do and whichever social you prefer and all that. But if they're
Yeah,
just like a non-content creation person that has all that, then yeah, it's a red flag.
I'll agree with that. And I was gonna add one other thing.
How
What
about
was
this one? Because this is another popular one that people always throw on the list. Doesn't have a social media.
Oh, the other thing I was gonna say about the Snapchat thing, that used to be what before they called them icks, was if a girl had over 100,000 score on Snapchat based on whenever this was talked about, that they were definitely less trustworthy or fool around. And back
Okay.
then, that was a good point. That means they snapped all the time. So back to what you said again.
Doesn't have any social media at all.
Ooh, I've got something to add on that one. I'm gonna keep this vague on purpose. Somebody I know had a lady and a friend with a lady. She was in a relationship, and I don't think they should ever listen to this. But if this other person listened to this, they might be a little disappointed. But I'm keeping it really vague, so there's no way somebody can
Yeah.
find this out unless they or the person listens to this. They were in a relationship with a man, and and they were in a relationship for a while. We keep things as vague as possible here. This individual did not have any social media, this man, and no social media at all. You could not find this guy. And what happened was this dude was living a double life for over about a year and a half or maybe 2 years with two different women at the same time, and neither of them knew about each other.
Damn, that's impressive to keep that up. But also,
Yeah.
like, but
I'm not
green.
saying it's a huge red flag for me, but I think it makes me lean slightly past beige to red
eh,
because that's how we grew up, and that's like a communication style that we have now,
See,
communicating via technology.
for me, it's the opposite. It's green/beige, if anything.
Okay.
Because here's the thing: like a lot of people, they're like, because okay, honestly, like a lot of people have like both. It has both negative and positive effects on your mental health. Social
Yes.
media. Sometimes it can
Yes.
impact you negatively. If you just don't want to see all the negative stuff on social media, you delete it and don't like get it back, or you stop wasting time on it
Yeah.
and all that.
Yeah, and I agree with that. So I'm saying I feel like I'm all over the place with
Yeah,
this one, which may let me straight into a beige flag. Yeah, it's
because
a for me initial response is beige to red because I'm like, why do you have no socials at all?
yeah,
Are
because
you like
that's
a really
odd.
like weird sheltered person? Because this is our current day and age. This is communication. We all communicate through these means. But then it's like you maybe get to know someone and realize, oh, this is for a really good reason. It's not bad.
Or maybe they just never got into the whole social media aspect of, or they don't even.
Hmm.
Because here's the thing: I barely even use my social medias. If anything, I use Facebook just to see what's happening in other people's lives, even if I
Yes.
don't really talk to them that much anymore.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm in that
Instagram,
same.
I use it more for besides the socials for the content. I
Yeah.
use it mostly just to send memes to friends and all that.
Yes. I'm
And
pretty much in the same boat. Like
Snapchat
I
I just
use.
used to talk to friends that for some reason we just use Snapchat more than texting and all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Snapchat is our current friend conversation.
Which
And
I
pretty
think
much you feed
I
all
think it's
texting.
like a 50-50 for people. They're like, "You still using Snapchat?" And then some of those like, you're not using it?"
That's
Because I
kind of funny. Yeah.
because
I have that experience.
I there's a Twitch streamer I follow. I started following a couple of months ago. They're like, "Hey guys, in case TikTok goes down, I just reactivated my Snapchat." And then like the Discord was like, "Wait, people still
Huh?
use Snapchat?" And I was like sitting there, I was like,
Uh-oh. Don't say
I've been
nothing.
using. I actually never really stopped using Snapchat.
Yeah.
If anything, I just like talk to like 10 or 12 people on there, then boom.
Mhm. Yeah. I'm pretty much the same way. I've hardly ever get on Facebook. I'll get on there to maybe just check in random. I'll randomly end up opening it, or like a birthday comes up for somebody and just check in and randomly scroll through a couple things, but hardly ever get on Facebook. I get on Instagram, not every day, but I do get on Instagram and I'll look at some funny reels. Pretty much Instagram for me is going on in there, and currently state algorithm of Instagram for a guy on average is for people, especially some people I know, is like either motorcycles or guns, but you have to show interest to get that kind of stuff. Near death experiences or people dying, and funny stuff. And
Let's
then
see.
probably for you, you get some animated stuff or anime related
Let's
ones
see. For
or
mine, I
Pokemon.
think right now it's sports stuff.
Mhm.
Okay, on my like mega on my regular feed, like stuff that like I typically follow. It's like
Yeah,
sports stuff, like random reels and all that of dogs
I
or
get
like
a feeling.
some of the stuff we send on our group chat and all that.
Yeah,
Video game stuff, anime, a little bit of news,
yeah.
food,
Well, I
a
get a little
bunch
news
a
too.
bunch of food, a bunch of food. In all honesty, like different kinds of recipes, and then I get the occasional, "Hey, check out this stuff that you should buy on Amazon."
I get a
And then
couple ads here
and
and
then
there.
whenever Taylor Swift was on tour, I got a bunch of horse stuff on my Discover page.
I didn't get any of that stuff.
I'm
Maybe
like,
I did, but I skipped it because I'm like, I'm not interested, and it went away.
because I'm okay, I don't hate Taylor Swift. Some of the songs are okay, some of them on. I'm like, I'm not a hater or anything, but I won't say I'm a Swifty. But
There's
like,
some of her songs are good. I used to listen to more of it back
yeah,
then than I do now. I really don't listen to her at all now, but that's not like I hate it. She's
yeah,
got some good songs. I don't really familiar with any of her real new stuff.
yeah. I just like
That could
remember.
be an ick right there. I guarantee you that's an ick somewhere,
Oh,
is if
but
like you hate Taylor Swift.
it's also the opposite too. If you love Taylor Swift,
Hardcore Swifty, I would be less happy if Victoria was a hardcore Swifty. I think it would be fun or interesting, but I'm so glad that she's not like a hardcore Swifty. She likes Taylor Swift, but like she's not like I want to gossip about Taylor Swift and what she's doing all the time.
hold on. That gave me a good one. Is obsessed with celebrities' lives.
Ah,
Now I gotta say
yes.
that is a red flag. If that's all you care about, all you talk about is like celebrity lives, like, oh, did you see the whole Taylor Swift, Travis Kelsey controversy, or did you see that Kim and somebody are having a feud and all that, blah
Yeah.
blah? And I'm like, why do you care? Like,
That's a red flag for me. Like they're just people. We're just people too. Why are these people so much more, interesting? You've
here's
got
another
other stuff going on.
here's another one I wanna throw
Mhm.
out. Now that made me think of it. Is obsessed with horoscopes.
Oh, yeah. Some
For me,
people live
that
their
is a
life by that.
major. For me, that is a red flag as hell.
I haven't gotten really into that with anyone or hearing about that hardcore for a long time, but I think of being obsessed with it to where you let it control your life
Exactly.
is then I was like, that's definitely a red flag. I think
Like,
it's very interesting. I used to read my horoscopes a little bit and I was like, Why does this sound so much like me? This is so weird.
Every once in a blue moon, I will randomly look mine up and I
Uh-huh.
was like, I think technically my sign is it's either Virgo or Libra. I can never remember which one.
I don't remember. Mine's Aquarius. And what I read when I first read it, I was like, this is kind of crazy, but it sounds a lot like me. And the daily ones,
Libra,
not
Libra.
always much, but like the general premise of Aquarius and how they meant to operate and everything, I was like, this is weird because I've never cared about this ever. And I've already established kind of who I am and, raised up a little bit. And then when I read it, I was like, this is so weird that this falls in line very well with who I am.
Yep. Okay. How about this?
I got, are you doing another one?
You go first. You
I
go
got
first.
one. And I'll scroll through some more, find some more after you hit your next one. This is a really good one that just doesn't really apply to a gender. Uh, doesn't tip. Obviously, for
Red
me,
flag.
first of all, premise A, red flag. But premising here, I'm not talking about tipping everything. I'm not tipping for like if I go, and some people don't entirely agree with this, but if I go to like I'm gonna order to go food from Chili's,
Yeah.
and if I'm gonna order to go food and go pick it up and just walk out with it, to me, like I won't tip or I'll tip $1 because I'm going through every bit of work here to get it. And then like kitchen staff's making it, and then pretty much you just grab it and throw it in the bag. It's not unfortunately, I don't feel that it's my fault that, you know, that doesn't help you out in any way, but that's just the irony, not even the irony, that's just what sucks about the position that you're in at this moment, versus doing people when they're dining in. I'm absolutely talking about tipping when you dine in. Like, that's part of our, society and our culture, and I agree with it because it's like people try harder to be better and be nicer and take care of you, they get better tips, and versus people who do a really bad job, I'm like, I'm not gonna give them hardly any of a tip. Or if they are an asshole, I might not give them a tip at all, but I've probably only once ever not given somebody a tip in that scenario.
Now, okay, see. Okay, so as somebody that used to work in the service industry and all that, if I ever took to go orders on the phone, I typically never expected a tip.
Yeah,
Now, if I had to put now, the thing that would suck is because so the way it does affect them to a certain extent.
yeah,
If you put out if if I was waiting and I put it on my thing to go and cash it out and everything, and they didn't leave me a tip, then I will be out a couple of bucks at the end of the night.
yeah,
But I think typically if you do it like on the bar card, it doesn't really affect it at all, or not
okay,
that much.
okay. Yeah, I don't really know,
But like
but
I don't know how it works with if it's I don't think it will affect anybody if it's done online like through Chili's apps and all that.
okay, and that's kinda what I'm going through. I'm not
Yeah,
calling them normally, I'm always through the online
yeah,
formats because then I could pick the stuff and be like, look at it.
yeah.
But yeah, just like, that's just no different than me than calling
How about this
Domino's
one?
and
Because
want a pizza.
this is another common one. Is rude to wait staff.
Oh, that one's
Red
huge
staff.
red flag. I've
Red.
had that happen with me, basically on like a date, before prom one time, and they were rude to the waitstaff, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is so freaking embarrassing that this is happening right now." I was fucking mad, bro.
Because like as somebody that has been away though, I'm like, no. Because I even think I had somebody that was like rude to me, and I think they're like they looked at me saying like kind of like they didn't say, but kind of looked at me saying sorry and all that,
Yeah,
and I'm like, yo, like, well, probably the people that are treated like complete craps don't even dare try to be rude to me. Because I feel
yeah,
like a waitstaff is typically treated below dirt. It's like waitstaff, dirt, grass, worms, and then everybody else. I feel like we're
mhm,
always treated like shit. I'm like, so don't you dare
yeah,
disrespect waitstaff.
yeah, that's you shouldn't do that, that's not cool. Don't disrespect waitstaff, no. That's an absolute red flag. I
Yeah.
hate that. Well, here's one. Let's see here.
Hold on, here's one that I think I saw. Your pet automatically likes them.
That's a ick?
Well, it's not exactly a nick, but like it's more like is this a flag or not?
Oh, okay, yeah, understand. Yeah,
Because
it
you're
automatically
looking at an
likes
ick
them.
list, so that's making you think more X and all
You're
that.
right.
I think for
Um,
the vast majority of people, and I think this should be like if your pet likes them automatically, I think it's
that's a
for most
green
people it'll be a green
flag.
flag.
Yeah, that's
Now
a
I
green
think they
flag,
now
man.
if your pet hates them, I'm pretty sure they can warm up to them over time. But if
Yeah.
they automatically like it, I think for a lot of people that's automatically red flag.
Yeah, I agree with if the pets don't and some pets, A, they don't like everybody, but if you have a pet that typically like a dog, I'm talking about a dog here, that normally
Like
always likes
Rugal.
everybody, and then someone comes not like Ruger, he, like, doesn't like everybody except likes us, the family,
Yeah,
so I
that's what I'm
guess it's
saying.
innocent,
He
my bad.
doesn't like anybody but you guys.
So if you have a dog that typically likes everybody and then somebody new comes around and they don't like that person, you just be wary. Sometimes it's weird, but dogs are a really good judge of characters sometimes. And on average, if for some reason it's just like how they say like alligators can smell fear. I don't know what it was some animal we were just talking about, or it was an elephant or something. Some they say some animals they can sense your fear,
I don't want to say it's
and
alligators, but
I
oh
don't know
my
if it's
god, what is it?
alligators either, but some the animals can sense your fear and they can sense your nervousness. Dogs can sense your
Mm,
nervousness, and so if you're a really nervous person, you have a really nervous dog normally,
yeah.
naturally, especially if you're the only one that takes care of the dog all the time. Your dog is going to be really nervous and stressed consistently. So the dogs are really good judges of character normally. And they can sense that different energy for some reason someone's putting off that maybe you can't. So if you have a dog that likes everybody and for some reason doesn't like somebody new, just take note and just remember that. There's something weird going on here. Is it's very interesting, but the dogs will detect something that we can't tell.
You were gonna say something?
Oh, here's a good one. This one falls in line with a lot of stuff going on right now with us. Uh, an ick, overly obsessed with video games. I can definitely see it. I understand it. I
No,
play a lot of video games myself.
I can see it, but
But the
it,
thing is, what misconstrues this is the biggest problem in my sense with people and their opinion towards video games. It's just like all you do is play video games. It's like, well, like some people all they do is just watch constant Netflix shows on repeat all the time. Or they just want to play on their phone and watch like TikToks for 4 hours. That's fine and dandy. But you can't just pinpoint video games as saying that they're
um,
the evil if
yeah.
you're doing the same. It's just a different screen, it's a different activity. It's no different. And in fact, this is more engaging than any of those. And there's scientific studies that have been done that there is a higher brain level. I'm butchering this a little bit on average. With people who are playing video games, you're able to better assess situations quicker, come to a quick decision. It's been a while since I've seen this study, so I'm paraphrasing here, but and so there was more cognitive benefit from individuals playing video games than individuals just like watching television or something like that.
Now, I'm gonna say, okay, I'm gonna do a caveat. If they do nothing but play video games, that's a red flag. Because you gotta go
Yes,
touch grass every now and then.
I
You gotta
agree
go
with
touch
that.
grass.
Overly obsessed, I think is maybe the asterisk that it has
Yeah,
here
yeah.
with video games. I agree with that. I've been, playing a lot of video games that I have been working, but something that does for me is that it's an activity that doesn't cost me a lot of money to do. And it's not like I'm not trying to do activities that cost money, but it's a fun activity I just choose to do. I would go ride my motorcycle if I had health insurance right now, and I don't. And so, like, there's an example right now why, I haven't been riding my motorcycle at all for many a months. I would be out riding my motorcycle, being out and about. I love riding my motorcycle, but I have no health insurance. I told somebody I'm not going to ride without health insurance. That's true. Every now and again,
Now,
I did go a little tiny spin around the mall because I'm trying not to get the gas gunked up in there.
yeah.
But other than
Now,
that,
I just thought of one that won't really partic to you you specifically, but
yeah.
will try to learn your family's first language if the first language isn't English or if they're not good in English. I
Uh
say
huh.
that's a green flag because you're trying to learn the language. Because, like, okay, my dad, despite what he says, he's fluent in English. He just doesn't think he is. Oh, we'll use that to get out of jury duty
And that's
sometimes.
exactly what you say. You don't know Spanish, but you can have full conversations with people in Spanish, and
To
I
a,
don't want
s-
to hear it.
to a certain extent. To a certain
If you
extent.
answer the phone and say bueno and talk in English the whole damn phone call, I mean Spanish the whole freaking phone call, you speak Spanish.
Okay, no, no, but like my dad, like he's been in the country since before I was born and all that.
Uh huh.
He has pretty good English. He would say he's not fluent sometimes, mostly just to get out of jury duty. He'll be like,
That's a great idea.
I don't want my. He says, I don't want my um miscommunication or me not understanding something correctly or interpreting something correctly to get somebody landed in jail. I don't know how often he's done that, but he's at least done that once
I
to got
think
him
that's
out of jury
smart.
duty.
Like, jury duty sucks.
No, but
I
like
haven't had to go yet, but
my mom, she knows very, very little English. Like
mhm.
can understand a couple of stuff. But as a kid,
Okay.
I was a translator whenever we went out. If me, her friend, and her friend's daughter will go out, me and the daughter will, like, say we went to Waterbuck, me and the daughter will both have to be like, okay, we want this, 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 this. Because our moms really didn't know that much English.
Mhm.
So if they tried
Yeah.
to learn some Spanish to say hello and stuff like that, or
Absolute.
Cantonese or Italian, whatever the language is, I say that's a green flag because they're trying.
Absolute green flag because they're putting forth an effort.
Yeah.
And if someone is at least willing and trying to put forth an effort, that's a big green flag. So that makes me think about like one that's not just right here, and is that just like some putting forth an effort, like I guess in anything, like in a relationship or something like that. Someone who is willing to put forth effort towards learning about something you're interested in, or learning about your interest, or your history, or your family. That's like for me, like there's an example of someone who puts an effort and or doesn't put an effort. But someone who puts an effort, major green flag, easily, absolutely,
Yeah, yeah.
because they care. If they're willing to put an effort, they care. Um, let's see.
You got anything else? Because we're almost going to be at 15 minutes now.
Okay. Uh, let's see. Let's see. I think that's pretty much it. I've made it pretty much at the bottom of this one here, and everything. This is pretty good. When you have to take a shot and have to sit down, get it together and learn to take a shot. I don't know who has to sit down after taking a shot. Sometimes it's like, woo, but like, there's no more good ones left. I think we made it.
I want to say beige/red because you can't handle a shot. Now, I know
Yeah,
some people are lightweights, some
I
people are
think it's well,
lightweights.
hold on a minute. We're saying take a shot and have to sit down. I don't think this is because you're freaking drunk all of a sudden. I think this is because they take a shot and they're so like can't handle it. They're like weak, like in the mental department. Maybe this same person who has to take a shot and probably sit down is probably not willing to try a lot of things, in
Now,
my opinion.
I
Probably
want to
either.
I want to throw one
Beige
mostly
to
as a
red.
joke.
Okay.
Thinks mint chocolate chip is the best ice cream. Red flag.
Yeah,
It is
I think
terrible.
that
It is terrible. I do not like that crap at all. I'm mostly saying
that's
that as a joke.
it's not my favorite, but it's not a red flag. I think it's interesting that it would be their favorite, but I would put it in the beige category.
I'm mostly just saying that as a joke because there's like always people that just love mint chocolate chip, and I'm like, no. I'm mostly
I think
just
they
saying that
lean
as a
beige
joke.
to green because they love ice cream at this point. If they have a favorite ice cream, I love ice cream too, but it's like I almost can't put my finger down on like what's my favorite. I would think hard about it, and there's so many different like flavors that I like
Cookies
that
and
I'm like these
cream.
are runnings up. I would probably, on average, probably pick cookies and cream as a favorite, even though like I love strawberry ice cream, chocolate, and vanilla,
I thought
bean.
I've been leaning more into gelato recently than ice
Cookies and
cream.
cream. No, cookie dough ice cream. Cookies and cream with cookie dough pieces in it. That would be more of my favorite than
Hmm.
just cookies and cream. Well, I think that pretty much wraps us up here.
And surprisingly, thankfully, you find that little ick list because I could not find. I thought it was going to be a file like, oh, quick Google search, everybody made their own list.
Yeah.
No.
You
If
thought you're
it,
like, I got this handled. Then you're like, oh, there's nothing here. I was like, I know exactly what to search to find this. And I just searched ick list for guys. Uh,
I, anything, anything else, Jay? I mean,
uh,
Blaine?
nah, dude. I think that pretty much concludes it. I think we got a lot of icks in there and out of there, or really just flags here: green,
Yeah.
beige, red flags. A fun kind of episode.
I'm actually surprised you never seen those videos before.
The ick ones?
The flag video, the flag ones.
I haven't. Oh, I've seen like big red flag in this.
Yeah.
These ick videos are still going
Actually,
on
hold on.
TikTok.
I got one.
Uh-oh.
I got one before we end.
Okay.
He has the truck lifted way up, and out has so much bells and whistles.
Yeah,
I say
it's
that's
like
a red flag because he's insecure as hell.
if you have to jump to get in your truck, that's too high.
I actually saw a video of somebody. I can't remember if it was a chick or a dude, but they had to like. I think it was a dude. Well, he had to like Well, like he had to have a step stool to get
And then with
into
a
his
rope
truck.
and went,
And yeah, I think you've seen that video. I think we may have
yep.
sent it to the group chat. I'm like,
It's too
especially whenever
much.
most of those people don't use it, those that left it and all that for
And it doesn't
bench walk or anything like that. It just
it
use it
doesn't
just
it's all right. I just it doesn't add any functionality either unless you get really big tires. All of your stuff hanging low is still there. If you still can hit a rock at the same height, if your truck's lifted up or not, if the tires are still the same, it doesn't add any benefit because you get no clearance. It's just way up in the air. If
and
you
see
get
here's
way big tires, you get more up clearance. And so that's something. Most everybody who has that, it just doesn't need it, especially mega lifted, giant ass tires and they're street slick tires.
and
Those
here's the thing.
aren't off road.
You're just doing it just so that way you can say, screaming, "Hey, I have a little member." Like
Ah,
unless you're a farmhand, a ranch hand, or something like that, you do not need to be lifted that high up to where you need to to jump into your truck and all
yeah.
that. Like
I think the only excuse that you get as a
yours is good.
pass
Yours
is
is
if you
good.
work. Well, A, what I said, but B, if you well, mine's good. I didn't do anything to it.
No,
It
no,
was
I
stock.
said like your level is good. Your level is
Oh.
good.
Oh, okay, okay. But the only good pass you get for this is if you actually work like in the country and shit like that. Then I think you get to make a pass because you're not like acting like you legit like this is what you do.
Yeah.
And there's a limit to going too far, but at least you're not like acting like this is what you are.
Yeah, which I think maybe 5% of people that have those trucks lifted like that.
5%. Yeah, yeah, exactly. There's hardly anybody who's like legit doing that.
Yeah.
All right, we better cut it out because we're gonna keep going. Um, well, Well, thanks everybody for being here and joining us here at the For Long Haul Podcast. Me and Blaine and Brandon here signing off. But before we go, if you guys want to check us out on Instagram, see us at For Long Haul Podcast on Instagram. If you want to shoot us an email, that is at ftlhpodcast@gmail.com, just like For the Long Haul, ftlhpodcast@gmail.com. And so also we've got a YouTube. Brandon is currently just strobe lighting me with all of these things on the screen. It's getting very distracting. So YouTube at For the Long Haul Podcast. We were already had this going just to see each other and have the audio. We are like, dude, we might as well have a video version.
Yeah.
So if you want to turn us on while you clean the house, or if you actually want to watch us, either way, we're glad to have you. That helps us out a lot, no matter where you're at. And then check us out wherever podcasts are podcasted. And share this with a friend if you think it'd be helpful or funny. We've got a lot of other money ones and life ones in here as well. Check us out For Long Haul on all podcast apps, wherever podcasts are podcasted. And if you can, give a thumb up or like a star or like a rating on those too. That really helps us out if you want to help us out.
All right, until next time, you guys have a good one.
All right, adios.